Okay, so think about this. The world around us, it's always shifting, right? Often in ways we just don't expect. I mean, whether it's your career, relationships, even just, your daily routine, change is kind of the only constant thing. And the big question, the one that probably keeps a lot of us up at night sometimes, is how do we actually navigate all that? How do we deal with it without feeling completely, well, overwhelmed or left behind? Today, we're doing a deep dive into a really famous, timeless allegory that tons of people have turned to for clarity. It's Spencer Johnson's Who Moved My Cheese? An amazing way to deal with change in your work and in your life.
Exactly. And our mission here isn't just to rehash the story. We want to dig deeper, pull out the core lessons, sure, but also maybe some of those surprising psychological nuggets hidden in this really simple-sounding tale. We're aiming to give you the shortcuts, really, to being well-informed about managing change, using this book as our guide. Find these practical takeaways and maybe a fresh perspective that sticks.
So, Who Moved My Cheese? For anyone who maybe hasn't read it, or it's been a while, it tells this story set in a maze. You've got four characters, and they're all looking for cheese. And this cheese, it's just a brilliant metaphor, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It stands for basically anything we want in life. Could be a good job, a loving relationship, money, health, even just, peace of mind. Let's quickly reintroduce these characters, because how they react to change is really the whole point of the story. First, there's Sniff. He's a mouse, and true to his name, he sniffs out change early. He senses it coming.
Right. Instinctive.
Then you have Scurry, another mouse, who just, bang, scurries into action the moment change happens, no delay.
That's moving immediately.
Then we have the little people. There's Hem, who basically denies and resists change. He's afraid, he's stubborn, wants everything to stay the same.
Yeah, he digs his heels in, laments, complains. You know the type.
Totally. And finally, there's Haw. He's the other little person. He resists at first, like Heng, but eventually he learns to adapt. He sees that change, maybe, just maybe, could lead to something better.
And that's the journey the book focuses on, Haw's journey. Because the central idea here, it's not just that change is inevitable. I mean, intellectually, we all kind of know that, right?
Sure, we know it, but feeling it is different.
Exactly. The real insight is how deeply we resist accepting it, how we build our lives, our routines, even our identities around this illusion of permanence. And the story just contrasts this so beautifully. You've got the mice, simple, proactive. The cheese is gone. Okay, let's find new cheese, quick acceptance, immediate action.
Very straightforward.
Versus the little people, paralyzed by fear. Hem stays stuck, complaining it's unfair. But Haw eventually realizes his fear is actually worse than whatever is out there in the maze. And as he ventures out, he starts writing what he learns on the maze walls. And those writings, that's basically the book's key principles distilled.
That fear part is so relatable to Hem and all of us, maybe.
Oh, for sure.
But Haw's journey, that gives us a path through it.
Yeah.
Shifting perspective, like you said. Seeing change not just as a threat, but maybe an opportunity for growth, discovery.
Precisely.
So let's unpack those messages Haw wrote.
Yeah.
The handwriting on the wall, as he called it. How do these apply to, your life right now?
Okay. The first one, the foundation really, is just change happens. They keep moving the cheese. Sounds simple, right? But it asserts change is natural, unavoidable. Work, life, everywhere, nothing stays the same. Projects end, markets shift, people change, it's a given. But the deeper thing here psychologically is our brain hates this. We're wired for stability, for certainty. So when that gets disrupted, bam, threat response.
Oh, right.
The real insight isn't just change happens, it's recognizing that discomfort you feel. That's not necessarily danger. Often it's just the signal of change itself, learning to sit with that discomfort.
So for you listening, it's not just about nodding along, yeah, change happens. It's about maybe practicing some mental agility, like mindfulness, accepting the present moment, even if it's uncomfortable, without judging it, letting go of that need for everything to stay the same.
Exactly. And for teams, it means building proactive habits, like regular state-of-the-industry meetings, not just PowerPoints, but real discussions about trends, competitors, and crucially, acknowledging organizational changes openly, talking about them, not letting them fester as rumors, but making change a shared reality you process together.
Okay, so first step, accept change is constant. Then what? Haw's next bit of wisdom seems to be about preparing. Anticipate change. Get ready for the cheese to move. Getting ready for it.
Yeah, this encourages vigilance, preparedness. If you pay attention to the signs, the little clues, you're less likely to be blindsided. Remember the mice noticing the cheese supply dwindling? We need to do that too. Look for the subtle shifts. The key insight here is developing what some people call peripheral vision, looking beyond your immediate task, your comfort zone, to spot those faint signals that hint a bigger shift is coming.
So for you individually, maybe that means actually setting aside time each week. Like read industry news, sure, but maybe wider stuff too. Talk to people outside your usual circle. Get different perspectives. Broaden your information diet, so to speak.
Couldn't have said it better, broaden the diet. And for teams, it's things like regular SWOT analyses, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, but really looking for those weak signals in the O&T and building a culture where anyone feels safe saying, hey, I noticed this weird thing, or what about this potential opportunity, encouraging that collective foresight.
That makes sense. Be vigilant. And it flows right into the next one, doesn't it? It's not just anticipating the big moves, but constantly checking your current situation. Like Haas says, monitor change. Smell the cheese, often so you know when it is getting old.
Exactly. Ongoing assessment. Regularly check if your keys, your job, your skills, your approach is still fresh, still valuable. Is it about to disappear? But there's a nuance here. It's monitoring, not obsessing.
Right.
Detached observation, not anxious worrying. Just a proactive check-in. Are my current strategies still working? Are my skills relevant? Is this relationship still healthy?
Okay, so personally, maybe that looks like setting, say, quarterly goals, professional and personal, and actually reviewing them. Asking yourself, is this still the right cheese for me? And maybe, crucially, asking for feedback regularly from your boss, your peers. Don't just wait for the annual review.
Yes. Proactive feedback seeking is huge. For teams, it's using KPIs, key performance indicators. But focusing on leading indicators, the ones that hint at the future, not just lagging ones that tell you what already happened, and customer feedback surveys. Not just for satisfaction scores, but to sniff out those changing needs and preferences before they become major problems. Smell the cheese getting old.
Okay, this next one. This feels like where the rubber really meets the road for a lot of people. It could be tough. Adapt to change quickly. The quicker you let go of the old cheese, the sooner you can enjoy new cheese. That letting go part, that seems simple, but man, it's often the hardest bit, isn't it? What's the biggest block you see there?
It is often the hardest part. Great question. I think the biggest psychological barrier is often tied to grief and identity.
Grief. Interesting.
When that old cheese represents a job we loved, a relationship that defined us, even just a comfortable way of working, letting go feels like losing a part of ourselves, our identity, our security. So people genuinely grieve what was. And that's okay, it's natural. But the book's insight here is that clinging on too long, staying in that grief or denial, doesn't just waste time and energy, it actively blinds you. It prevents you from even seeing, let alone embracing, the new opportunities, the new cheese. Holding on to familiarity can actually hurt more in the long run than facing the uncertainty of moving on.
Wow, okay, so translating that.
Yeah.
So you get laid off. The advice isn't just go find a job. It's more like acknowledge the hit, feel the disappointment, maybe give yourself a day, but then create a structured plan for the job search within that first week. Action.
Exactly. A defined period for processing, then structured action.
Or if a project you loved gets canceled, allow the arc moment, sure, but then actively, almost immediately, start looking for the next exciting thing. Reframe that void as space for something new.
Perfect examples. And for teams, when a big client leaves, the best teams don't waste weeks on blame or despair. They might have a quick what happened meeting, but then pivot fast. Okay, how do we find 2 new clients? Brainstorming, action plan now.
Right, focus forward.
Or if a project scope suddenly changes, instead of fighting it for weeks, they quickly huddle, reevaluate, reallocate resources, and push forward on the new path. Speed of adaptation minimizes wasted effort and keeps morale from cratering.
Okay, so adapt quickly, let go. But how doesn't stop there? It's not just reacting, it's about actively getting involved in the new thing. Change. Move with the cheese. Be proactive in the change itself.
Yes, this is the call to action. Acceptance isn't enough. Adaptation isn't passive. You have to participate in the change. Update your skills, explore the new terrain, step out of the comfort zone. The key insight is that inertia, just staying put when things are changing around you, that's the real enemy. Passivity becomes a choice, and usually it's a bad one.
So for you listening, maybe that looks like, I don't know, proactively signing up for that training on the new software your company's rolling out, even if it feels like just another thing to do.
Get ahead of it.
Or if you see your role might be shrinking due to automation or something, don't wait. Start researching now. What skills are needed next? Start learning them before you're forced to.
Absolutely. And for teams, think about a marketing team seeing the shift away from print. Instead of clinging to it, because that's what we do, they proactively dive into digital advertising, learn new platforms, shift the budget. They move with the cheese.
Or a software development team maybe stuck in an old methodology.
Right. They proactively adopt something more agile because they see the project requirements are changing constantly. They move to the change rather than resisting it.
Okay, this next one from Ha, I really like this one maybe because it feels hopeful. Enjoy the adventure. Savor the adventure and enjoy the taste of new cheese. It's easy to just feel fear during change, but he's suggesting enjoyment, adventure. That sounds like a stretch sometimes when things feel chaotic. What's the psychology there? How is enjoyment even possible?
That's where the book really offers something beyond just coping, isn't it? It's about reframing. Our brains run on narratives, on stories we tell ourselves.
Okay.
If the story you tell yourself about change is, this is awful, it's loss, it's struggle, then guess what? That's your experience. But if you can intentionally, consciously reframe it as, okay, this is new, it's a challenge, what can I discover here, what can I learn? Your whole emotional response can shift.
So finding the curiosity in it.
Exactly. Finding curiosity in the unknown. Looking for and celebrating even tiny wins or small moments of progress. The adventure isn't saying it won't be hard. It's about embracing the journey through the difficulty, maybe finding strengths you didn't know you had.
So, okay, you start a new job, it feels terrifying. Instead of dwelling on the fear, you could consciously focus on, okay, what new things will I learn? Who are the interesting people I might meet?
Shift the focus.
Precisely.
Or even a personal setback, like maybe your relationship ends. Obviously, there's grief, like you said. But maybe after a time, seeing it as a chance to reassess. What do I want now? What hidden strengths did I find? What new paths might open up? Yes, it's about agency in the narrative. And for teams, this is huge for leaders during big, messy organizational changes. Actively celebrate the small wins. Keep morale up. Frame that difficult new project not as, oh God, more work, but as, wow, exciting chance for us to learn X, prove Y, maybe innovate Z. That collective positive framing, it's incredibly powerful.
That makes a lot of sense. Reframe the narrative. Okay, and finally, Haw kind of loops back, reminding us this isn't a one-and-done thing. Be ready to change quickly and enjoy it again. They keep moving the cheese.
Yeah, it reinforces that cyclical nature. Adapting isn't an event you finish, it's an ongoing process. You have to stay flexible, stay ready for the next shift, because it will come. The core insight here is that real adaptability isn't just reacting well once. It's about building the muscle for continuous adaptation. It's fostering a mindset of perpetual learning, perpetual evolution, never thinking you've arrived.
So for you, maybe that means keeping your resume or LinkedIn profile updated, even when you're happy in your job. Not because you're always looking, but as a living record of your growth.
Good example. It's being ready.
And really cultivating that growth mindset, always being open to learning, trying new things, maybe even seeking out challenges that stretch you a bit.
Absolutely. And for teams, after they navigate a big change successfully, don't just breathe a sigh of relief and move on. Do a retrospective, a real one. What worked? What didn't? What did we learn? How can we be even better next time?
Learning from the experience itself.
Exactly. It's about building a culture of continuous improvement, of curiosity, where evolution is just normal, expected, not this big scary thing that happens occasionally.
These principles, they definitely resonate on a personal level. But you mentioned earlier how widely organizations have used this book. And it seems almost too simple. Move with the cheese. I can hear listeners thinking, yeah, but my company restructuring, industry disruption, global pandemic is way more complex than 4 characters in a maze. How does this simple story actually help with really complex, messy, real-world change?
That's a really fair and important point. And you're right, it is simple. It's an allegory, not a detailed step-by-step change management plan.
Okay.
Its power isn't in providing the complex how-to. Its power is in creating a shared language and enabling a crucial mindset shift across an organization, which can then underpin those more complex strategies. It helps depersonalize the change. It's not management doing this to me. It's the cheese is moving for everyone. How do we adapt? It makes it a universal experience, not a personal attack.
That shared language idea is key.
Definitely. Think about the U.S. military. They operate in arguably one of the most constantly changing environments imaginable, right? Geopolitics, technology, threats, always shifting. And they've reportedly used who moved my cheese in training, in leadership development. Why? To instill that mindset of adaptability, readiness, expecting change. Moving with the cheese is a perfect analogy for needing to constantly update tactics, tech, strategy.
Staying ahead of adversaries.
Exactly. And that enjoy the adventure principle crucial for morale in difficult, dangerous situations. Fostering a culture that expects change helps them respond faster, makes the force more agile, more resilient. It gives leaders a simple way to talk about why change is necessary and helps individuals understand their role.
And not just the military. You hear about major companies too. You mentioned Fortune 500 companies like GM, Procter& and Gamble.
Yeah, many large corporations facing big shifts, restructuring, mergers, tech disruption have used it. Often, the principles that resonate most are adapt to change quickly and change. Move with the cheese. They might distribute the book before a major change announcement, not as the announcement itself, but to kind of prepare the ground emotionally, mentally, get people thinking in terms of the allegory.
Just like a primer for the real news.
Sort of. It helps frame the upcoming change. Like if a company needs to shut down an old product line, the old cheese that maybe people are very attached to and pour resources into something new and uncertain, the story can help employees grasp the why we can't stay here, why we need to move towards that new potential cheese.
Okay, but surely there are pitfalls, right? I mean, handing everyone a copy of Who Moved My Cheese
Yeah.
when their jobs are on the line.
Yeah.
That could backfire, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Feel a bit simplistic or even patronizing.
Oh, absolutely. That's the biggest pitfall, using it as a substitute for real leadership, clear communication, and concrete support.
Ah, right.
If management just tosses the book out and basically says, read this, the cheese moved, get over it, without addressing specific concerns, without a clear strategy, without providing training or resources for the new cheese, then yes, it breeds cynicism and resentment fast.
So it's not a magic bullet.
Definitely not. It works best as a catalyst, a tool to spark conversation, provide a common framework for understanding the emotional side of change, and encourage personal reflection. It sets the stage, it builds a mindset, but it doesn't replace the hard work of actually leading and managing the change itself. Foundational mindset, not operational blueprint.
That distinction is crucial. So this deep dive, it really underscores that understanding of these principles, anticipating, adapting, moving, even finding the adventure, can genuinely change how you approach change, turning those roadblocks into, well, maybe not highways, but at least navigable paths.
I think that's a good way to put it. Paths to success, fulfillment, or at least less stressful navigation. But yeah, it's an ongoing journey, not a final destination you reach.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe something for you to think about. The cheese in your life, it is going to keep moving. It always has, it always will.
That's the guarantee.
So what is your most important cheese right now? The thing you're pursuing, maybe the thing you're holding on to tightly.
And then maybe ask yourself, what's just one small, actionable step, something you could literally do today to start anticipating its next move, to monitor it, to get ready to move with it? How can you start turning that inevitable shift into your next adventure instead of something you dread? Because ultimately the journey continues. The maze is always there.